What's going on, people? It's Guns for NextGenTactics. I'm bringing you a little news, video game news, of course. I'm not going to talk about anything else. We're talking about video games here. Anyway, PSP2 coming soon-ish. Probably 2011, maybe? I don't know. Anyway, it is in development. We do have leaked footages. I'm going to put a link to the article in the description of this video, so if you want to take a look at it yourself, then go ahead. Now, the rumor is, as the title goes, I know I always look at the side, I don't know, it's what I do. Anyway, the rumor is that the PSP2 is going to rival the PS3 in terms of graphics and visuals on these actual games. Now, in order to do that, it's going to need one hell of a processor. The article talks about the processor in the PSP2 rumored to be just over half the power of the PS3. Now, at first when you might think, well, it's only half. But the problem, what you got to realize is that the screen on the PSP is considerably smaller than any screen that the PS3 would probably have to display on. And it is not going to be 1080. You can't do that. So the fact that it has, even if it just had slightly less than half of the processing power of the PS3, the graphics and the visuals that you're going to have on these games on this thing will blow our minds. I mean, you've got game systems out there like the Nintendo 3DS. Yes, you know, it's got the cool kind of 3D look to it, but right now, in the 3D sort of world where we're entering, we're very in the gimmicky stage. It's not, I don't think that it's going away. I think 3D is here. It will evolve, it will get better, but we're in the gimmicky stage where it's, you know, it's kind of like, ooh, that's really cool, but the games aren't really that friggin' great. Although, I am kind of excited for Killzone 3. That being said, you got people like, I think it's Michael Patcher. Although, you know what, I wouldn't take this guy seriously at all. I mean, every time he opens his mouth, he just fails, and fails. He just keeps... At first I was like, oh, you know, he's an analyst, and obviously, you know, he sways people's investors' opinions on how to invest in companies and what they should, and blah, blah, blah. And he's just, as far as I'm concerned, he's just failing constantly. So take him with a pinch of salt and discard him, because he's saying the market's saturated, the PSP2 is just going to fail. It's already failed before it even hit the market. And I think he's on crack. If you look at what the PSP is, now not all of us have handheld games, but we have, like in this house here, we have a PSP, we have a DS and a DSi. Probably not going to get the 3DS. I look at, you know, what I like to play, and my kids as well. I mean, they use it extensively, like every single day. They do not use the PSP, only because, number one, they don't like the controls, the one slider and everything like that. They're PS3 gamers. All three of them is what they're used to doing, so they don't really like it. In terms of simplicity, they are drawn to games like Super Mario and all that sort of good stuff on the DS's. And that's sort of what that market caters to. But in terms of the 3D, you know, it's kind of gimmicky. I wouldn't really go anywhere with it. For us, the serious gamers who did invest in the PSP, because it really is the only real sort of mature gaming type handheld out there. But the original one kind of failed on multiple levels, and I have one of the original ones. And the reason why I'm saying that is, number one, it's not flash drive based. So it has that the rear casing opening where you actually put in the optical disc. And the problem is when you have mechanical parts like that, and believe me, I've already experiencing it, you get mechanical breakdown. We've had the arms break off it, we've had all sorts of, you know, things break on it. For the most part, it's a very sturdy and reliable system, but, you know, that sort of aspect there. Plus the control, I don't like the single slider. It's the equivalent of an analog stick, and it has the one slider for your thumb, and then you use the buttons and you use the D-pad. Kind of, it's a little bit strange, especially for us that are using Xboxes or PS3s, because we're used to dual analog sticks. So the transition, when we, as gamers from the console generation of the Xbox and PS3, want a handheld for the serious gamer, we want something that's comfortable to us. Not something where we've got to change our style and acclimatize to this completely new product. Now the PSP2 has dual analog sliders, and these are the sticks. Same motion as you'd have on the actual analog sticks, where your thumbs go like this. So that is a huge step. For me, that alone makes me very curious and makes me actually want to buy one, provided that they're going to have a good game backup, like game library backup. The rumor for the PSP, and this is where we start getting into games and processing power, the PSP2 is rumored to have a processor that is just over half as powerful as the PS3 cell processor itself. In a handheld game, or game system rather, that is incredibly powerful. You gotta understand, the processing power for a handheld doesn't have to be that high because of the size of the screen. It's not going to be in 1080. It doesn't need that incredible power to run these games like Uncharted 2 or what is it, God of War 3. You know what I mean? Like the ones where the visuals are just friggin' out of this world. Because it's a smaller screen, the processor doesn't have to be near that powerful. And the fact that it's over half as powerful as the PS3 will tell you that the games that it's going to be able to play, the visuals on it are going to be spectacular. No other system is going to be able to touch that in terms of handheld games. Now the problem that they do run into is that a lot of these mobile phones and that type of market is really kind of bringing gaming out to the mobile masses. And really, you know, Sony's working on a phone system too, their own gaming phone system. So they're aware of that. But I think for hardcore gaming, you really can't beat a dedicated handheld. But it's got to be slick, it's got to be powerful, and it's got to provide us with that fun and the visuals that we want as serious gamers. I say serious, but I'm talking about gamers that play Call of Duty games. Well, not necessarily Call of Duty, you know what I mean? Fable, whatever. All the other games that are sort of bring everything up, the acting, the visuals, the audio, everything's got to be amplified now. And I think the PSP2 is attempting to do that. I'm not saying that they're going to do it, but everything that they're doing for this system looks like they're heading in the right direction. Dual analog sticks, processor power capable of running all of the, and this is the rumor as well, it's going to be able to port, and basically you're going to be able to play your PS3 games directly onto it. Not like a dumbed down version, but the actual game itself will be able to be played on the system. That's how powerful that system is. And these are the earlier games, not the ones like Uncharted 2, because those things like almost maximize the cell processor. If you ever play Uncharted or Uncharted 2, you'll see that the visuals, the audio and everything is spectacular in that game. And so no handheld is going to be able to touch that right now. Oh, the future, who knows what the future holds, right? Anyway, so the PSP2 coming out 2011, 2012, who knows? There'll be delays and they'll be perfecting it. But it's looking really sharp. It's looking to be one of the absolute most powerful handhelds out there. Sure, it's not going to have 3D effects like the 3DS, but again, like I said, it's kind of gimmicky right now. I do want to see 3D technology progress to the point where obviously we're not wearing any glasses, kind of like with the 3DSs, but the graphics, you don't have to dumb it down. You know what I mean? We can watch it in 1080. We can watch it in super high definition, which is, what is that, 2160 or whatever? And Samsung's already got a TV at 2160 HD, like super, super high definition. So once we're heading into that realm, I'm sure that the 3D technology then will be displaying it in 1080. It won't ever be at that high level, but 1080 in 3D, that is sweet. Anyway, what are we talking about? PSP2. So anyway, that's it. I'll put a link to the article in the description. You guys can read it yourself. But it's looking pretty promising in terms of handhelds. And this is the one I would put my money on, despite Patcher saying, it's an instant fail before it even hit the market. You're an instant fail because you don't know what you're talking about. You don't speak for gamers. You don't speak for us. And I know I'm a gamer, and I'm not saying I speak for you guys, but as a gamer myself, I'm always intrigued by handhelds that bring the experience that we have right now, but portable. And I think the PSP2 has a good chance, good shot at making that happen. Anyway, I'm Guns for Hire. Those are just my opinions. I'm curious to know what you guys think. If it's going to be flop, fail, and remember, ignore Patcher. He's an idiot. Peace. Get the latest updates and stay in touch with the NGT community with their all-new Facebook application. Check the description of the video for details.